employee medical insurance premium payable. Of $8,000, plus 12% of the gross is $12,000. Add those together, it comes to $20,000, and that's the total. And what the point of the matter is, sometimes these are estimatable, sometimes they're known. And so, an example of one that has to be estimated is the fact that at Clark College, 10% of, I put in 10% of my wages in TIAA CREF, and the college will match it. How much do they owe? Depends how much I make. Okay, and my wages can vary quite a bit. I can work overtime, okay, and in this case, what they're saying is they don't know how much it's going to be. In this case, it's $8,000 base, and then 10% of the, so it's $8,000 plus 10% of the gross. And of course, how much they pay depends on how much their employees make. And the same is true here at Clark. How much their match is depends on how much I pay. Ted, there's a mystery number.
Nope, just trying to read.
Okay, a mystery word. All right. They're doing, yeah.
Is that 120,000? Is that their gross?
That's the gross.
Okay.
So they agree that what they do is it's $8,000 plus 10% of the gross. And it's estimated, they know they owe it, and they can reasonably estimate it, but they, they don't know how much it'll be until they know what the gross is. Okay. Another one is vacation pay. So what happens here is the employee earns $20,800 a year. Okay? And they get 2 weeks vacation a year.
Right?
Paid. Now, so the way this works is, they actually, so in this case, what happens on this thing is, here's the way it works is, 20,800 divided by 50, okay, equals 416. And the reason it does this one is, in effect, here's the annual pay. The employer only works 50 days a week, or 50 weeks a year. So this is how much the employee gets paid per month, per week. Okay? Now, the money that goes out is, the paycheck will be 28,000 divided by 52. That means that every week, $16 goes to the vacation pay. Okay? And the way that works is, so the weekly payroll will have an entry like this: vacation, benefits, expense will be $16, and vacation pay, vacation benefits payable will be $16. So what happens here, is everybody okay with that? So what happens on this thing is, this individual makes $28,800 annually and gets 2 weeks paid vacation, right? Now, that 2 weeks paid vacation is an expense. How much of an expense? Well, $20,800 is annual salary. Because he gets 2 weeks vacation a year, this person only works 50 weeks, right? So that means that if you get this amount annually, you work 50 weeks, that means that this is the amount that the person is paid annually, right, or every month, or every week. Then, that's how much that's how much wages expense are incurred every week. Then, when you take the 20,800 divided by 52, here's how much they're paid every week. The difference is how much vacation pay, how much is the vacation pay expense. So when you do the journal entry at the time of the payroll, it looks like this. So the weekly payroll has this entry. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this regarding the employer or the employee? Like, is
This
this
is-
$16 coming from the employer?
No, this is an employer's vacation pay expense.
Okay,
So
so the
the-
employer is technically paying it, not the employee.
Exactly, the employer pays, so when the employer pays the weekly payroll, there'll be $16 as a vacation pay expense.
Okay.
And this just keeps adding up. Then when the employee goes on vacation, it will come out of this payable.
Okay.
So then you'll debit vacation benefits pay
Exactly.
and credit.
Exactly.
and
It
credit
will
cash.
just be, exactly. Yeah. This will be debited, cash will be credited. Yeah.
So you're expensing it before they take it,
Yep. And
basically?
sure, and the expense, and the deal is the expense occurs, don't forget, an expense occurs, you call it an expense when you incur it. And so this is when they incur the expense, and then it's a payable, and when the employee goes on vacation, then it comes out of this.
So that money that you're technically putting or taking out of or setting aside, it's literally just sitting in a bank somewhere, and then when that employee takes it, that money comes out.
Conceptually, you can see it that way. It probably doesn't sit anywhere. They owe it.
Right, right.
It's a payable.
Okay.
And you can see them putting money in a bank account if you want. Seriously.
Well, just
But
in my mind,
but
so
all
that
it
I
means
can
is it's a payable.
figure it out.
Yeah, it's a payable. But then, yeah. But you can see it that way. Does that make, yeah, you can see it that way.
So if they take the vacation before you expense it,
This payable will be,
so it's not a payable, it's just an expense,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
paid your employee.
let's see, if they take it before, what it is when they take an expense, of course, the deal is they have a whole pool of employees. So this is an employee, right?
Right.
But there's a whole bunch of employees. So this payable is contributed by everybody, and then when somebody takes it, it comes out of that. And you're saying what would happen if everybody took it January 1st?
That would suck.
But generally, they don't do that, yeah.
So do they set up this fund like at the beginning of the year?
Well, you can see it as a fund if you want, but no, it's a payable. It's imaginary. Yeah, but it's a payable.
Everybody's kind of envisioning like a separate checking account
Yeah.
or banking
Yeah.
account, that you're earning interest on this money that's sitting there. and it
No.
doesn't occur.
I mean, you can visualize it that way if it makes it as a mnemonic device, but in reality, it's a payable.
What if,
And what the point of this whole, I'll be right with you, the point of this whole thing is you want to declare the expense when you incur the expense.
Imagine.
It's the matching principle.
Those points.
And this, and when the employee works a week, this is the expense that the employer incurs. And that's the point. So was there a hand? There-
yeah, I
there we
have a
go.
question. The payable, is it broken down by employee? So there's one payable account, it's for all the employees.
Yeah.
So then how do they keep track of how much each employee has?
There's a thing called an employee earning record that does keep track of all this. So, yeah, and a lot of times what they do is you can't take vacation until you've worked there a certain
Yeah,
period
like
of
a
time.
year or something.
And so you can't take a vacation until you've earned enough, till this for you would be justified, is normally the way they work it. Because you can't get hired and leave vacation the next day. Yeah.
How would it work? Because like at my work, it depends on how many years you've worked there. So between your day one and the first year, you only earn like 1.8 hours of vacation per period.
Okay.
You work there 2 through 5 years, you get 2.4 hours.
It's the same, and of course, the way that works, of course, is, first of all, the math can just get complicated and can be unique to a company. The principles behind it is, when you work there, you get entitlement to vacation time, and when you get that entitlement, they've incurred the expense. At every paycheck, they incur that expense, and so they'll declare it as an expense when they incur it.
Okay, but they wouldn't have like separate accounts for the different, or could
They
they
would have
have?
to,
They would have to
if it was
tiered
different,
like
if
that?
it was unique to each employee, or
Mhm.
kind of like unique,
Yeah.
then they'd have to set it up like that, yeah.
Okay.
And of course, what they do is, I don't have an example here, but it's just a big spreadsheet. And what'll happen in that thing is they have, each employee has their own spreadsheet that breaks everything down and just keeps going across time. And so they would keep track of it per employee is how they'd keep track of it. And then they would put it into that common payable. Is there a hand up?
Yeah, so if the employee doesn't receive, say you have to work there a year before you get your benefit, you don't expense it during that first year. You expense it when they start to, after the year that they've been there.
No.
No? You get to
They
expense it
incur
during
when the employee, every week, they incur this obligation. Now, what happens on this thing incidentally is, this book doesn't get into it, but what it is this amount, this $16 is then multiplied times the probability that they'll actually pay it. Because a lot of times, people don't take all the vacation they're due, it expires. And a lot of times, people quit with vacation due, so it's this times the probability that it was collected. So if half the people collect it, then you multiply this times 0.5, and it would be $8. Just because half the people don't collect it. And so they have that probability in there. And in some companies, a lot of people don't take the vacation, and a lot of people with a lot of turnover, they quit before they have a chance to collect it. So it does take into effect the probability that they'll pay it. Yeah.
My husband's work does something completely different. He is, for every hour that he works, he gets $2 an hour. That's set aside in a bank account that he can actually access at any time
Wow.
for vacation. So how does that?
It would kind of work the same way, that every hour he works, that $2 goes into that account.
Yes, it's directly deposited and he can access at any time. So,
Yeah.
so it's expensed in the same manner then?
That would be, now this is a way of figuring it. It's, all it says is, this guy's paid this annual salary, and this person gets 2 weeks vacation a year.
Okay.
Under those circumstances, which is common, here's how it's figured. But of course, what you're saying is every time he works an hour, $2 is his vacation salary, and he can draw it out as money?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
completely separate.
'Cause-
It's listed on his paycheck stubs as something completely different. So he's got his regular working hours and then vacation hours.
Yeah.
It's an actual-
And at Clark, I never get it, I'll drag in here half dead, right? I've taken like 1 or 2 sick days in the 30 years I've been working here, literally. So I've got this huge sick pay. And so when I retire, I can cash that in at 25% of my wage, but it's the same sort of a thing. Yeah, there was a hand up, and then we got to kind of move on here.
So the $16 a week is coming out of your 20,800?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's part of the, when they pay you, in effect, they pay you $416 every week.
But you're actually
So
only taking home 400
Yeah,
gross?
exactly, 400 is what shows up in your paycheck.
Okay,
But in reality, the cost to them is really $416,
okay.
because you're not working for those 2 weeks. One more question, we've got to move on here.
And just on this equation, so if this were on a test, and you ask this question, employee earns 2 weeks vacation, we have to be able to seg it out so that we know it's a 50-week.
If they worded it like
Actually,
that,
you
if they
get paid
said, here's the guy's salary employee, he gets 2 weeks vacation a year, how much is the weekly vacation benefit? Is how they would word it. And again, if they worded it like this lady said, that every hour the employee works 2 hours is put into vacation pay, then it would be a different set of calculations. So read the question carefully. You guys, let's kind of do this. So we're here till 3:20, right?
Yeah.
All right, I want to make sure we get everything covered here. And we've been here, should we do one more and take a break?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's a bonus plan. So in this bonus plan, what the deal is everybody gets a bonus, people get a bonus 5% of the gross. So for instance, they can have marvelous luck Actually, we have, so they've had marvelous luck with these bonus plans. For instance, it was Tektronix. What they did is they paid their people a wage, but they would get a significant amount of money as a percent of the gross. And man, it really worked well. They went from a brand new company to the largest employer in Oregon in a pretty short time, and they attributed to this plan.
Which company is
It was Tektronix. Okay, so what happened here, so then what happened is, and it would work, because you'd get off of work, you'd walk through the parking lot, you'd see a nail. And under these circumstances, you'd stoop down, pick up the nail and put it in your pocket, because you didn't want the delivery truck to get a flat tire, because it came out of your bonus, right? And that worked charmingly for years. And then all of a sudden, it quit working. And the reason they think they quit working is because they grew and grew and grew in size. And so when they were small, everybody saw themselves as significant. And it made a difference that I saw that nail. But when they got to be large, people felt insignificant and they quit doing it. They quit motivating. Okay? Now, in this particular one, it's 5% of gross. Now, how much is the gross? So here's the way it works is, okay? So in this case, what it is it's 5% gross, and the annual net income and by the way, it's 5% of the annual net income, not the gross, but net income, is 210. So the way this works is, the bonus equals 5% of the annual income minus the bonus. Okay? So the bonus equals 5% of the annual income minus the bonus. Does that make sense? And when you solve for B, so then let's kind of go through this. So B equals 10,500, 0.5 times that, minus 0.05B, then 1.05B equals 10,500, B equals 10,500 divided by 1.05, so the bonus equals $10,000. So here's the net income, and the reason you got to work it this way is because it's the net income minus the bonus times 5%. Yeah.
How'd you get the 1.05?
Right here, this B plus 0.05B. Because what you want to do is you want to move this over here.
Gotcha.
So to do that, you add 0.05B to each side, it comes out to 1.05B. All right. Now, let's do this, just so we're at a good stopping place, and we'll get everything done today, and we'll have a chance to practice the payroll. So let's do this. Let's go back to the vacation benefits, and let's do quick study 11-10, and you find that on page 463. Okay? So here's how it reads. Okay, so it's 463, right here. It's quick study 1110. Here it is. Let me fold this in half so it lays flat. Okay. And we're going back to the, okay. So here it is. I'll make this, I'll turn that camera around, and I'll turn out the light so it's readable. And what it says is the Chester Company what it says is the Chester Company's salary employees earn 4 weeks vacation per year. It pays $192,000.12 in total employee salaries for 52 weeks, but employees only work 48 weeks because they get 4 weeks vacation a year. This means that Chester's total weekly expense is $4,000, okay? $192,000 divided by 48 instead of the $3,692.31 cash paid weekly employee, okay? Record Chester's weekly vacation benefits expense. And they've done most of the math for you. That's, you guys are smarter than that, they insult your intelligence. But they've done most of the math for you. All right. And again, they did all the calculating for you.
Steve, what number is this?
A quick study 1110, and you find that on page, quick study 1110. Any questions? All right. You guys doing good? All right, let's do this. Let's do quick study 11.9, and this deals with the bonus plan. You find that on page 465. Then, here's how it reads. All right. The Paris company offers an annual bonus to employees if the company meets certain net income goals. Prepare the journal entry to record a $10,000 bonus owed to its employees to be shared equally at the calendar year end. Doesn't make any sense. I did it last time I did that, it made sense. Well, this is stupid. Look at, yeah, look at that. Man,
It's just simple, that's why.
yeah. Well, man, you got, they misjudged the level of the class we have here, right? Some stupid thing like that. And the deal is the only, yeah, well, that's stupid.
And it's supposed to take us 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's supposed to take 5 minutes. Well,
If it's
man.
simple.
You guys, I'm marking that off my list right now. And of all things, I put me in here, being I should do it. Well, I did. Right here, look, it says me. Now, what in the hell was I thinking? All right, well, anyway, you guys get the idea, right?
Yeah.
That'll be on
Okay.
YouTube.
All right, yeah.
Broadcast yourselves.
I don't know, yeah. You guys, you doing good? Let's take a 10-minute break, and keep an eye on your watches. Let's see as they, let me get back here and get the roll and everything. Anybody else need the roll on the business? Thank you very much.
Yeah,
It's just the